Hey everyone on YouTube, Shadowsun here, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I want to talk about crystals, mainly which crystals I use the most often right now and why. So one of my first crystals that I use the most that I have here is a piece of quartz. This piece is huge. It has a really nice point. I'm kind of flipping it around in the moment because I want to make sure that you can see this jagged edge here. It might be a little too close. But I use quartz for all kinds of magical workings and rituals. I've used crystals for divination, when I do readings. And I've also used crystals for a wide variety of other uses, such as rituals and other aspects of my practice, meditation. And quartz is one of those that I use a lot for amplification, if I want to add energy to a spell, if I want to add energy to something I'm already doing. I do a lot of long-term spells right now, so I tend to add a few crystals related to that. So quartz is one of them. I used quartz in a banishing spell when I was banishing something from my life. So I used a piece of clear quartz, not that particular one, but another quartz piece along with a representation of that item. And I also used quartz in using it for adding more energy to a spell. I did a spell for health at one point and I needed more energy, so I used quartz charged specifically for that. I also like quartz just because it has a really good multi-use case. I also think quartz is one of those crystals that is just easily obtainable, and I have quartz in bulk, and the other two crystals I'm going to mention are in the quartz family as well. One of my most used pieces, I'm sure you remember this, is this piece of amethyst. It's a raw piece. It kind of feels like really rough. I use that specific piece for meditating, but I also use amethyst for other workings as well. I've used it for anxiety. I've used it to calm a space, to get rid of negative energy, along with other crystals like quartz and black tourmaline as well. And amethyst is one of my favorites. I used it. It's one of the first crystals I ever had, aside from clear quartz. And I like using amethyst for intuition, anything related to psychic abilities, spiritual work, connecting with spirits. Those are just some of the things I've used amethyst for. I have one specifically dedicated for any type of spiritual pursuit. So if I'm using amethyst for connecting with my spirit guides or deities, I will use amethyst. I will also use amethyst for connecting with just the crystal itself. And I've used amethyst for calming a space. I feel like amethyst has a really soothing energy about it, and it makes it feel very calm and very serene is the best way I could describe it. But that's just my experience with amethyst. I know amethyst isn't for everybody, and I've used amethyst for all kinds of other things as well. I used amethyst for helping me with anxiety, like I said, and I've also used it for meditation and connecting. When I do the connecting with my intuition, I have one that I use for like psychic abilities. So if I want a little bit more of an easy transition, I will use that. When I use the amethyst for meditating, just holding it is enough to get me into that semi-meditative state, or to aid me in getting into that transition period of a meditative state. And the final crystal that I have that I use pretty regularly is Carnelian. This piece is kind of small. I was planning on showing a better piece. I know it's a little close, let's see. And Carnelian is like one of my favorites. It's one of the first ones I had, aside from amethyst and clear quartz. I like Carnelian for connecting with fire. I like Carnelian for motivation. I've used Carnelian for motivating myself. I've used Carnelian in spell bottles, spell jars. I've used Carnelian in protection work. I've used Carnelian for banishing or like adding a little bit of fire energy. I've used Carnelian in so many different ways. One of the ways that I read about in a book one time was about public speaking. And I had thought that public speaking was, oh, you know, I just saw it in a book because it said eloquence and then it said public speaking, or good to use in public speaking. So I thought I would try it, and I tried one of my earlier pieces of Carnelian, and I used it for that. And I don't usually have issues with public speaking at all. I just felt like it was easier, like my words flowed better, but that's just my particular use case. I also like Carnelian for courage and courageous things. I like to use Carnelian for helping with motivation in terms of like job interviews, or motivating me when I'm feeling low, or things of that nature. So these are just some of the crystals I like to use right now. I use several others as well that are not related to the quartz family, but I love crystals, and I hope to speak more about this, and I hope you all are well, and I'll speak to you all soon.